You are going to get some information that can profoundly make your business better in this video. Hi, I'm Terry Brock. I'm a person who's been working with thought leaders, working with coaches, speakers for a long time, and I want to show you in this video how you can use content creation to get a lot done. I've been doing it myself, well, since I was a little kid, actually when I was in second grade, doing some things, and then all the way through undergrad was radio, TV, newspaper, and now have been doing this for over 40 years as a professional speaker, a coach, a marketing advisor and communication advisor. I want to show you specific nitty-gritty steps that you can take to enhance your business, because there's a lot that's out there. When you're working with the people who need to know your message, you can help them in many profound ways. This is what we do regularly here at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. We're looking out for you, want to help you in a big way. You can come over and take a peek at us, starkravingentrepreneurs.com, and we'd love to help you out. But there are many ways that people can get involved in being a thought leader and helping. One is with an email newsletter. I know that many people do that, and I highly encourage you to do that. Gina Carr, my partner, and I here at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs are doing that regularly. Being a person who can send out information through text is dazzling. That was the first thing that I did. I was in second grade on the bus to Express. You might have heard of that. We went out there and we put a little memo together. We talked about what was going on in the school. Me and Jimmy and Johnny, two buddies of mine, and we were all there in second grade, went out and did our little thing and had fun doing it. Writing, now we didn't use computers, but we were writing with typewriters, or really we'd write it out by hand most of the time because we didn't have access to all that. But you're still doing the same thing. You're connecting with people who have a message to send people who want information. Also, you might be using podcasting. Podcasting is a wonderful way to do it right now. We have a podcast ourselves, just like we have a newsletter that goes out. And you're able to connect with people. I particularly like podcasting. I'm going to share with you how that can be something to consider if you're not already. And then also video creation. That tends to be my number one way of doing it. I love it. You connect with a person. You see what they're like. You find out what they're like. People feel they're going to know, like, and trust you because of who you are and what they're seeing on the screen. So being good at that. I'm going to give you some steps of what you can do. And this is going to be the first of a few videos I'm going to put together talking about the whole idea of content creation. This is just you and me here. I do this regularly here in my study. If you've been watching our videos, you know what I'm talking about, and been able to do it on the road as well using, well, one of these guys over here, my smartphone. So I take my smartphone on this, a little tripod or something like this here as well, and the quality today is amazing what we can get. I'm using my Samsung S24 right now. It is dazzling just to see the video quality, the still picture quality, and it keeps getting better and better all the time. We know over on the iPhone side, as we're recording this, the iPhone 15 is really hot. Gina has one of those, and they do really well in many different areas. I would encourage you to look at the opportunities for that, because being a thought leader and using content gives you a lot of specific advantages. One of the biggest advantages you have in being a content creator is you're building trust. You're building trust, and it's not pushy. You're not going out there and go, hi, I'm wonderful, buy my stuff. People don't want that. But if instead you've identified a clear area where people need help, then you can say, hey, you know that problem you're having that others are having in the industry? That's what I work with. Matter of fact, we have done several of those. Last week, we worked with Mrs. Jones over in East Wakahuga, a good place to visit. And we helped her on this, and she did that way. People start hearing the stories. This is where video, where audio, where text all come to play. And each has its own little nuance of what to do it right. And we're going to talk about some of that in this series as well. We do that a lot at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. But what you want to do is with content marketing, let people know they can look to you for something that's going to be quality and it's not pushy. That's really important. Another thing that it's doing is it's giving you excellent quality information that people want. It gives them value. Their lives are better. Oh, hey, wait a minute. We're going to watch this video on YouTube that deals with big problem facing us today. Let's watch that. And we hear really smart person talking about all that. And then when we hear it, we go, hey, I hadn't thought of that, but she made a very good point. We can go back and try that here. So what you want to do is look at what people are going through. What are the challenges they have? You want to, as Chris Brogan likes to say, grow bigger ears. Listen more. Listen to what they're doing. Not just saying, hi, we've got this wonderful product. It is great. You should buy it. We'll make you a really good deal on it. No, that's too crass. what you want to do is listen to where they're coming from, identify the pains they have, and see if the product or service that you have is going to help them. Is that going to be able to solve their problem? And if you can do that, you've got a winner going on for you. You know, there's another really unique thing about being a content creator and someone who, I think particularly who's on video or on audio, or they read your text on a regular basis, they get to know you, or at least something that they think is like you. I remember when I was on radio, when I was a kid, got into radio when I was 17, junior in high school, and I started working on the Family Life broadcasting system. I remember back in Michigan, it was, still remember this, WUNN 1110 on your AM dial from Mason, Michigan, or WUFN 96.7 on the FM dial from Albion, Michigan. The voice of the Family Life broadcasting system. So I do that. I don't work with me on this. I have fun with that. But I did that. I was in radio in high school. Undergrad was radio, TV, and newspaper, and I worked in radio stations after that as well. But what happened is people would get to hear you on the radio. And back then it was mainly radio. We didn't have a lot of video. This was back in the 70s. And they would come to the station sometimes and go, "Wow, you don't look at all like we thought you did." Now, I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but people felt a bond. They felt like they knew you. When they see you for the first time, they'd come up talking to you as if you were a long-lost relative. "Oh, Terry, so good to see you. Oh, we hear you on the radio." Da, 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 da. And I realized even then, at a tender age back then, it was something that you were making a bond because people could imagine in their mind what you looked like. If you're doing a podcast, you know what I'm talking about. People get to know you, at least I'll put that in air quotes, they get to know you from what you're doing. And so I would say leverage that, if at all possible. If it's right for you, leverage that to something that you can use to connect with people and solve their problems. Again, not just saying how wonderful you are. "Hi, I'm wonderful, I do this, I do that," but rather you're offering real insights. On a podcast, interviews are fabulous. When you can get the right person, you get special guests who's an expert in a given area, and you ask the right questions, being able to ask questions that your listeners would want to ask them anyway, you're going to really have something that's special. I've enjoyed working with Podfest for several years now and love going back, scheduled to go back again and speak about different topics that are relevant to podcasters. I'd encourage you to look at a podcast. If you're doing one right now, looking at attending a service or a convention, a conference like Podfest, or if you're not doing that, maybe think about going to some podcast events somewhere. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there devoted to it. There's a lot of Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups of people using podcasting. Look into that. It can be really, really helpful for you. And that's way you build that bond with people. And that's what you want to do as a thought leader, as a coach, as someone who is leading people, advising them, consulting. You want to be able to do that. And these are some tools that can help you. And of course, you can use video. I'm using a YouTube channel, and you might be watching that here, or you might be listening to this on the podcast. What we do, as many people do, is we record it initially on video, then we do some editing with it, and I'm going to get into the details of that to show you the tools that are easy to use that can save you a lot of time, money, and energy. Used to be you had to always hire somebody to do it for you, and there is a place for that still. But right now, many tasks can be automated. When you can get a machine to do it and all you do is press a button, you can do it. I'm using a tool called Ecamm. Ecamm gives us the ability to set up what they call scenes. You just press a button and go from one to another, and you're able to see it. Matter of fact, you saw a little bit of that. Those of you that are watching the video here, notice right here, I'm bringing up the video that says video creation. You see a video playing over there. I'm over here on the side. This is a scene. And I can bring up this scene, play it over and over whenever I want. Also, it's real nice. What I could do is I could stop the video over there. I could pull that video out, put another one in, and still have the same basic structure. Same thing over here in podcasting. See, I can talk about that. I can bring in a video and did all of this within Ecamm, and it works very, very nicely. So you can do that. And then I take it into Camtasia, which is a tool that does video editing, does a great job of it. There are many really, really good tools out there that do that. There's iMovie, which is on the Mac. You'll see when you get it. Also, you see there's Video Movie Maker that I believe is over on the Windows side. Adobe Premiere and Final Cut Pro from Apple. There are many good tools. It's not my place to say this is the one to use, but I find that something like CMac, Camtasia for Mac, is the one I'm using. And I don't know all of it. There's a whole lot more that I don't know, but I know enough to be able to work with it and get done what I need to do. I'd love to hear your comments on that and what you think about it. But I like to start with video, because then from video, I can pull out the audio for the podcast. We can run it through a tool called Castmagic, which we're going to talk about even more later. Castmagic has got to be one of the best tools for thought leaders. It gives you the ability to repurpose that content. I take the audio part of what we have here, or I just copy the YouTube URL, or can upload an MP4, and it grabs the audio, gives you a transcript of it, and then the fun begins. It parses it up, answering questions, developing for you a nice introduction. It develops for you titles that you could suggest. It develops for you the LinkedIn text that you could use. Don't use it just with a copy and paste, but take it, and what I want you to do is to you-ize it. That's right, Y-O-U-I-Z-E, you-ize it. I want you to make it you. If your name's Bob, I want you to Bob-ize it. If your name is Shanika, I want you to Shanika-ize it. I like to Terry-ize it. So I'll take it and make it into me. That means put in your feelings, your ideas for that LinkedIn, for the Instagram that Castmagic will develop for you, for the reels that will come for Facebook or Instagram, the translation that it can give you. Hey, if you're catching this on my WordPress site, and if you're not, you might want to bounce over there, take a look at the Spanish language summary that we get as well. I don't speak Spanish that well. I'm studying it right now, and I got a long way to go. But people who do speak Spanish well have looked at it and have told me, hey, that looks really good. It is accurate. And I thought, oh, well, that's what matters. So the opportunities for you now to you-ize your material and to make several different repurposing positions for it is just enormous. You can do this, and we're going to be talking about that. Matter of fact, we've got some courses that are going to be coming up on Castmagic, showing you as a thought leader exactly step by step how you do this and how you turn it into making money. Well, these are some of the basic reasons why you want to work with thought leaders, why you want to use content in order to market. It builds a trust. You're able to do it, and there's some steps that you can go through, and we're going to talk about that in the following videos that are coming up. We're going to show you specific tools, nitty-gritty, this tool right here. I've told you about a few of them already. Castmagic is one of the best for repurposing. I also use CMac, Camtasia for Mac, which is a wonderful little tool from TechSmith. And we are using Ecamm, gives you the ability to do it very easily. Not that you have to go out and buy all of these tools. You can actually, there we go, grab your phone, just your phone, and use this to create a video, no editing, and put it up on YouTube just like that. It's not fancy, not a whole lot of edits and cuts, but it works. And if that's something that is right for you and with your budget of time, money, and energy and knowledge of that, well then good, do that. If, however, you say, hey, we got a little bit of money here, we're going to get some good video editors that can help us. There's a lot of people that can do that around the world. We're working with some right now that do that. We're not doing it ourselves just because, well, I'm using Ecamm and CMac, and that tends to work real well for us, but you find what works for you. So these are all real good possibilities that you can use to make some progress and to get farther ahead in what you're doing. So what I want you to do is to think about it. How can you start using the tools, right, and become a better content creator to reach more people to get done the message that you need to do? This is what we do for many people today, showing people how to use these tools, how to work with them, and get a lot more done. We'd love to hear from you. Come over to Stark Raving Entrepreneurs and leave a note, or wherever you're getting this, on your podcast, maybe you're getting it on YouTube, you might be getting this on a social media platform, please leave a comment. We would love to hear from you, the questions you might have, if you like what we're saying here. If you don't like what we're saying, you say, hey, Terry, you missed a point on this or that, I definitely want to hear from you. So drop us a note, and we'll look forward to hearing from you. I'm Terry Brock. Thank you very much for joining me today.